You're now tuned to 91.3 FM. WCUW.
WCUW.
This is Voice of the Voice.
I have every right to say
You already know. It's your boy Saint Mike, Mike J, Michael J. Phillip,
We got speech.
Mike Talkalot.
Rip. We're not
This
on
your
that.
man Keith Recorded King, Mr. Moscato, aka the greatest man walking the face of this earth.
Rip.
I
love
It goes a lot.
Yeah.
One for all.
All right, Tom.
Yes. I'll send you something after today.
Okay.
To be scheduled.
All right, good.
Oh, all right, brother.
See ya.
Entertainment. You name it. See, talk about
We
it.
gonna talk about it.
We gonna talk about it. Now, talk about
All right, we on. That's why you need headphones.
Yo,
They heard you. They heard you.
they heard me?
Yes.
They heard me? I don't hear me.
Oh, I told you that's because of whatchamacallit. Who?
I used to rule the world. See the light of the
That's Will. That's Will getting it.
Special shout out to Nate, Peter Ghost, Barack King X, Kuntha, 1 foot off.
Foot off.
Get well. He's a little bit not feeling as great today, so
That's right.
he's not going to be here. Also, coming to the studio, we have my man Mike, Michael J. Thriller, Mike Camera Action, A Beautiful Mind.
Same bad time, same bad station. What's going on? What's the listeners and people who listen on the radio and all my followers who listen, you know.
Hey.
It's your man Keith Report, aka Mr. Moscato, aka Sir Lord Keys, the Thor, on the way to being the greatest and still, you know, the greatest man walking. Not even walking, greatest man on the face of this earth.
Hello, yeah, not Trooper Joe. And I'm here to keep it real for you.
Keep it real.
All right. I hope everybody had a great Easter.
Well, hold on. The person giving the first person talking didn't even introduce himself. How about that one?
This is your man, Worcester. This is your man, Truth. I'm here to bring the truth to you, for you, and if that need be, through you.
Mr. Billy D, aka Truth to It. I love it, yeah. So how was everyone's week? How was your week, Truth?
We're talking about Easter, yeah. How was everybody's Easter? We had Easter.
Oh well,
You put the kids in their little Easter garments?
Yeah,
They had
my
brand
kids,
new-
they had all 7 of them. They had a really good time. They brought the church. They brought the helicopter. They had a helicopter fly over the kids' heads, like real close, and then they dumped Easter eggs onto the field, and then they let the kids out of the gate. They ran and bum rushed the field. The propeller from the helicopter made the eggs like spread out far, so the kids didn't just wrestle with each other. It was really good. They had a good time.
I had to close my eyes real quick to picture that one.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Reality, that's a beautiful thing right there.
Yep.
I know Troop was just lost. He wasn't even listening, but yeah, that was a beautiful thing though. Let's have like an Easter egg hunt one day.
I was listening.
Then what he say?
He was talking about a helicopter drop for the kids in the open field, and the kids were behind the gate. The gate was open. They rushed it with the bum rush. I don't know if everybody out there understands
No, bum rush.
Okay.
You know what a
bum
bum
rush is, but
If you know what a regular rush is, just think of bum rushing. It's gonna be like 100 times more.
no. What it?
It's Ebonics, Troop. It's over here. Don't worry about it.
So true. You know how I just did the thing for Nate while Nate was gone, and I
Yeah.
just did the thing for Mike when Mike was gone too. Sometimes when you're not here, a couple weeks when you weren't here and I was here, I did you for you.
You
So
did.
so this is how it sounded. Let me know what you think. Give it a scale of 1 to 10 how it sounded. All right, ready?
Okay. I like that part.
Okay. I'm Trooper Joe, and I'm here to keep it real for you.
Yeah, that's about right.
All right, that's good.
You got your voice sounds a little bit more perky.
I'll
Okay.
keep it real too, so I'll make sure everybody understands that a bum rush is from
He
the
got a
1920s.
A southern drawl to his
when,
talk.
when,
Yeah, he
when
do.
the bums used to be hobos and stuff, and that's when they would rush the food.
But see, even
and
hobos,
stuff.
what's hobos? People don't know what hobos are.
Well, we're not going to go into a whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen.
Riding the
Yo,
rails and the
So-
train and no.
Please hurry, Mike.
Yes,
because we're losing it.
yeah, we're going for real. Well, my Easter was good. It was spent at home with the wife. I couldn't get my thanks to the Again, thanks to the legal system, I couldn't be with my daughter. There was a division there, but I did wish her a happy Easter. I spoke to my son, and even still leading up to Easter Sunday, it was great. We had a program at Emmanuel Baptist Wednesday, which was great. It was only for an hour, which we got to work out the kinks on that. But
What's that?
the Triple Threat Academy, the things that I do for the kids, a free clinic to teach kids, just basketball and life skills.
Basketball and life skills.
Yes. So that happened Wednesday, and then, like I said, Easter Sunday, I wanted to go to church. I did want to go to church, and then I had church at home, so it was really good. Opened the Bible and stayed home and built on that relationship at home. I did put a Facebook post on why it was. They try to say it's not a national holiday, but if it's not a national holiday, then why is everything closed?
Right.
So it's a national holiday that
Sunday.
no one gets paid for, and I just think it's more Americanized.
Well, I just got back from North Carolina. In North Carolina, still on Sundays, everything is shut down. It's Sunday, respect Sunday as
the Holy Sabbath day.
yeah.
Baby.
So, but I mean, up here, Massachusetts, people aren't used to that. So even when I went down to North Carolina and it was a Sunday, I was like, I need to stop at the store. They said, good luck with that, partner. Nothing's open.
Yep. You got to get everything on a Saturday.
Yeah.
For real,
Crazy.
Very, very. But great week, great Easter. Everybody
I was sick on the floor. Had the flu.
You were on
dying.
the floor?
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
sick. When I get sick, I go to the floor. I go to the lowest point I can get. That's the floor. I curl up under my blanket. I've had that blanket for about 50 years. I curl up under that blanket, gives me all
That
the
might be
comfort
why
and
you're sick.
protection I need. And I just wide awake for my mama.
Tide works for me.
He said,
But
"Wine
my
and
question,
work for my
Troop, is
mama."
when you do get sick, are you like a baby?
Yeah,
You are? Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm like a baby too.
Ooh,
When I'm
big
sick.
old baby.
Yep. When I'm sick, I can't take it. I got a fever. I can't
And
I just tell
Voice
people
of the
as it
Voiceless.
is.
a voice of the voiceless fact. I think a majority of men are babies. When they're
Yep.
sick. Voice of the voiceless fact. A majority of men are babies.
I can't see Mike being a baby when he's sick.
I am.
I can't. We gotta ask him when he get here. I don't know.
When I get sick, I get sick. What I get would kill ordinary people.
Well, so
That's how it works. Like
Uh-huh.
locally,
that's why I don't go near anybody. I won't kill them. They get it, they die.
Okay.
I can handle it.
All right.
You know?
You got super flu.
I know I've been kind of discouraged reading the local news because it's been the important stuff I see on the radar of the media hasn't been really publicized as I think it should, and the knowledge behind that type of thing be
What is it? Come on, get to it.
no, like I said, we have I want to talk about the bill for the registry of drug dealers that they're trying to pass. Which,
What is that? Let's talk about that.
I found it funny, but I just want to talk about the facts of this. It's the bill for registry for drug dealers is supposed to make it harder to be truthful. I think it's another one of the conspiracy theories to intentionally hold black males down again. But it's a state rep Demetrius Atselius. He's a Democrat from Hyannis. Hyannis. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. But that's who's pushing these bills, though. So I would like to know what the crime outlay looks like in Hyannis.
Well,
Does anybody know about Hyannis? What about that one? Go ahead.
I don't. When I'm sick, I have a highness. That's the only thing I know. But, listen, you know what's? Sometimes you don't get loose stools. Well,
I just got
I come from the cave.
okay, all right. So it's a cave. Anyway, let's stop. So, anyways, so about what you're talking about. This is what I like.
I didn't get to finish going with the
I know.
Oh no, I'm gonna let you finish because I'm not deviating away from that. But I just want to say, all that discouragement that you have about what's going on in the city, and there is reason being because the city and the state are doing a lot of things to people and communities now. A lot of changes happening. But I like the fact that you're still out there trying to help the community despite it. You're still out there trying to help the kids with basketball, getting them off the streets and things like that. So, I mean, I think good will be conquer. I still believe good conquers evil, And I just think that as long as you keep doing what you're doing, Troop, you too, with your
What?
business that you're starting, you do
Archangel.
yeah, Archangel, yeah.
Return to chivalry.
Return to chivalry, y'all. I mean, y'all
Yes.
both. So, and
Yes.
plus y'all here talking about it too, bringing awareness to it. So, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
And but that's what I was trying to tell you. I always have a pulse on what's going. I try to have a pulse on what's going on. Sometimes try to be relevant, especially if I consider myself a talk show host. You know, so
Yeah, talk show. It's a microphone.
I'm a star. I ain't a talk show host. I'm a star.
Used to
You
rule
know, I am a
the
star. You're sitting
world.
next to the shining star.
Shining star.
So now let's go back to this Bill of Registry for Drug Dealers. Again, so it's the Democrat from High Anus.
Say Cape Cod.
High Anus, Massachusetts. No, but you gotta understand that's who's leading. That's who's leading. I guess the push for this whole bill to be passed is Cape Cod and Barnstable. So you had the police. You had the police chief from Barnstable, Michael Clark, who he sees this as the greatest thing to do because it's someone like you know, it's a scar. If someone is a drug dealer, and you know who he is, you need to watch out for him, and you need to, you know, not give him any opportunities, and you need to really have an implicit bias on drug dealers. And it's like, you know, I'm thinking of, yo, this is nuts. This is just, again.
What's more? Tell me more of this bill. Tell
Well,
us
I
more.
told you what the bill is supposed to do. It's supposed to mimic the registry for sex offenders. So you're going to be labeled different level drug dealer. It's nuts. You're going to be labeled a different level drug dealer, and you're going to have to register with whatever city you're in as a drug dealer. And it's like, yo, why don't people open their eyes and see that, you know, all right, let me stop feeling. So that's what it is. It's a registry for drug dealers. If you're caught selling drugs, wherever you move, you have to register. If you don't, then what it is, it becomes a point to recidivism. Now, if you don't register and you're in a place and they're like, oh, you didn't register, now you got to go back to jail. So it's just a way to just throw you right back into the system and label you, to give you that label, you know, that people so much in society hate, you know.
I think drug dealers should be held and registered and go back into jail if they're dealing drugs and stuff. I don't like drugs. I think that's an evil that's been loosed upon the United States of America by the powers to be to keep down the lower class people. Anyways, they allow it to happen so frequently.
Now, Troop.
What?
I'm not a killer, but don't push me.
What?
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
No, but see, no,
Revenge is like
Troop.
the
No,
sweetest
okay, so here's the
joy.
problem with that, right? If you're a drug dealer and you paid your debt to society, and now you want to come out of jail and you're supposed to be quote unquote rehabilitated,
Yeah.
and you want to get a job and get a place to live and walk away from that life, this is just another way to make it more difficult and put you back into the streets and selling drugs.
Okay.
Because you can't, because if you're registered like that, then landlords will be like, no, I don't want to give you a place to live. So now you're on the street where drugs are being sold. You ain't got no place to live. You're staying on someone's couch. I mean, you can't get a job because that's on your record. I mean, I'm not advocating for drug dealers either, but I'm saying punish them and then move on.
I can understand punishing them and
True.
then move on. I can totally understand punishing and moving on. But then again, if you went to jail for drug dealing, you come out of drug dealing and you come back to your old hood and stuff like that, there's a great possibility that you're going to go back into your own ways, because they're not going to give you a job when you come out the door.
Right. So why make it even more difficult?
Well, maybe just on the other way, it's not going to make it more difficult for them, but it's going to spur them towards being watched. So I'm being incarcerated. I'm really still under the eye of the judicial system. I got to hold myself to a higher level so I can't mess up. I'm not saying advocating that they be like a pedophile and for the rest of their life they got to register.
Right.
You know, but when you first come out, I think there should be some kind of monitoring system that works. You know?
I understand what you're saying. What do you think, Eve?
I don't believe in the monitoring system. True. And the bad thing about it is I'm very much out the box. So much out the box that I think people can't even understand me. And I dig that because at the end of the day I have, and I think God has given me, you know, this big insight on overstanding situations. So I would expect you to say that, True, because at the end of the day, your fear of, I guess, being socially accepted was
My fear of socially
it
accepted.
wasn't there as much as it was in other people. You know what I mean? In other people's cultures and where they come up at. And I say fear because when you talk about drug dealers, it really has nothing to do with, as I see right now, a conscious choice of knowing the consequences of what their actions are. It's really pretty much their backs against the wall, and they have to, whatever opportunities that they have in front of them, they need to take. So
Robin Hood glorified.
it ain't no Robin Hood glorified. It's where people come from. So you swear you're from the hood, then you should understand what opportunities are in the hood. You should understand that, yes, you can go to the service and become a millionaire and have an Archangel label, but you can also come from the hood, go to the service, and come back and be a drug dealer. You can also go to the service, come back and be a dope fiend, a crackhead. All of those options are very well, I would say, relevant right now, not just for drug dealers. So,
All right, so let me ask you a question, True.
True.
but that's the time. You moderating this?
Huh?
Go ahead. You're the man in the middle, so go ahead. Keep on going.
Yeah, well, I was just trying
Filming.
to get. I'm trying to get. I mean, I'm trying to get
It's having
everybody's
fun.
opinion because this is interesting to me. So,
Yeah, step in.
True.
What?
Richard Nixon's aide, came out in the news a couple days ago on CNN and said that the war on drugs was created specifically to target black people.
He don't believe it.
100% correct. It was.
Okay, so no, and ever since then we went from Nixon to Reagan with the war on drugs. We went to Bill Clinton with the 3 strikes you're outlaw. Now we're here today with black people being targeted for things such as drug abuse and drug use. Don't you think putting more monitoring on them makes it worse?
Can I say one interesting fact though? Why does the smallest percentage of the population on this world are the biggest number incarcerated?
Right.
Help me understand that one.
Well, I would go beyond Nixon's first thing, with the targeting of black people for the drug. It goes a little bit further back, deeper than that, with the Vietnam, the start of Vietnam War.
Well, yeah, you're right.
He's going to even
Yeah.
justify this stuff,
And
but still
I'm
believe
not
the opposite. Go ahead.
justifying anything. I'm just giving you a little point of reference here, and the draft.
Point of reference.
Now, the draft during that time, if you had a high school diploma and you were black, you got drafted.
Yep.
If you had no
Wow.
high school diploma, 6th grade education, you were 4F. You didn't get in the service. So what they did was, during that time with Nixon and the draft, towards the black people, they took the prominent black people that they can and put them in the service.
Right.
They didn't have enough education, enough qualifications to do anything but infantry, so they were bullet absorbers.
Right.
So that's what they did. And at the same time, they left all the ones who had no real ambitions in life or were dealt a bad hand, or any way you want to spin it, left them here in the country to fend for themselves.
Right.
Then they institute the war on drugs and allow drugs to be funneled all into the country,
Yep.
into those neighborhoods,
Yep.
directly targeting these people so that they can stay in some kind of stupor or whatever you wish to call that. And in that world that they were in, they didn't force the war on drugs. They let it run rampant so that they could have a huge amount of people that were on drugs. I mean, the hippie generation out there in California, they let everybody be high on the street. Nobody cared,
Right.
because it wasn't affecting any kind of real money. What do you want to say, Keith?
No,
Jumping around over
and because I think that's been the age old trick, like that technology. So and no one ever answered that question. I remember hearing Malcolm X talk about it way back when he was like, how does drugs get in America?
Right.
How do they get in here? But who's taking the biggest brunt for the drugs coming in here is, of course, the bookends. So I learned through Undue Racism, you have to have bookends. Somebody has to be the bad guy for this idea of capitalism to work. And you understand the poor people, which majority has a face of black males and
Yep.
black people, have to be that bad person. So
Sure.
who's bringing it in? No one, they never get penalized. And then they have laws. So you're talking about, it's like taxes for the rich and taxes for the poor. They have loopholes and laws on ways for it to bring it in and for us to be pinned as the bad guys. They said this a long time ago, back when the mafia was controlling the way drugs were coming into America.
Right.
They said, yo, let's give it to the blacks. Let's give it to the blacks and let them kill themselves over it. It's still the same thing that's going on now. It's just now there's a million more other people bringing it in. So that's like my focus on reforming of the system and thinking of it innovatively. They just want to people are so scared and like, you know what I mean, their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be rich. They want to live comfortable, and the only way they feeling about living comfortable is not having any idea of a threat to, I guess, shake up that comfortability.
Yep.
And that's all this is an idea. Because what's wrong with a drug dealer living next to a rich person? If they got it, who cares how they got their money? Because at the end of the day, all money is dirty. Everything is being done is dirty. So I don't. My thing is, it's just intentional why they want to target young black males and drug dealers and occupations of these young black males.
I was with you until you said, why does it matter if a drug dealer is living next to a rich person?
Yeah, why does it matter?
Right
So tell me.
Because the
Yes.
drug dealer is selling the drugs to the community,
That's right.
getting younger people hooked on drugs, and it's almost like local government versus big government. Yes, they both are doing the same thing, but the local government affects us more.
And
If
then-
he's selling drugs directly into the community. Now, I think more.
So that's why you don't want them to live next door to you. But you own a company that is for profit, that makes money, and that has a foundation that has a missionary that goes to Cuba 10 times a year. And you know what they're bringing back on them Cuban trips? They're bringing back kilos. Do you know about this? No. But so how are you? So now what? You're better than the person next to you selling drugs? No, you're just as bad. And that's what's wrong with people now. They feel that they're better than, they're smarter than, and I don't want to be that perception of how I'm viewed in society weighs more than who I actually am. It don't matter where you come from. It matters who you are. And that's what I'm saying. If a drug dealer lives next door to somebody, you automatically let that implicit bias, like you're better than somebody, sink in when you're not. They're just a regular person who eats and breathes just like you, who your perception is that they're tearing down the neighborhood, when in reality, you're tearing it down way more than they are. So that's what I don't get.
Go ahead, True.
So
You're making this assumption that everybody that does or deals or is into drugs is black. That ain't true.
no, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not the
They're
assumption I'm
mostly
making.
white.
That's the assumption I'm saying that's being manipulated. That's being manipulated. Monopolized and manipulated, I mean. Meaning that the crime is blackmail. You said it yourself. The idea of crime is a black man. So understand, what is the presence of doing a database for drug dealers? Who is the most incarcerated for dealing drugs? Black males. So do you understand the conspiracy?
Yeah,
It's clear to me who they want to target. It's clear to me. I'm not saying.
We know that.
But the reality is, how did the drugs get into this country? Is white males, white city council. You understand? City council who's backing up the police department. Who the police department's intentionalities is to lock people up in Main South and let this thing up in Taconic where you live at go free. Where the drugs are being stored at, in these suburban $1 million homes. They're not in the hood.
Where do you get all this information?
Look, man, Kingpin Connie Lukes, she's a kingpin. I want the drugs to come in through the underground.
Like, and you said it yourself, Massport. That's the biggest drug dealer on this side of the country. What are you talking about?
Massport deals with bringing in everything. Not drugs is the smallest little thing bringing it
So
into
why-
the state through Massport.
So
They
why
bring
don't nobody in
commerce
Massport
from
get locked up?
huh?
How come nobody in Massport are being held accountable for the drugs that are being sold on the streets?
They're bringing in commerce from China and other countries and stuff. They're not dealing in drugs. That's a small man's type of thing.
Okay,
But
so
you
can I just say the
understand
end
what I'm
game? I understand what you're saying,
Yeah,
Keith,
I don't get it.
but the end game, right? The end game is they want those drug dealers back in jail. You know why? Because it's dirt cheap to feed them, and there's free labor.
You're making money off of it.
Yep,
It's
you've
not
never
cheap
heard
to
of
feed
a
them.
criminal. You never heard of a criminal union or a prison union of prisoners or prisoners going on strike to work. That's what the end game
For me,
is.
here's the real reason that bill was founded on Cape Cod. It's a place that come where people come for vacation, and that brings in the money to that place. And the people that's coming there are all got their noses up in the air,
Facts.
all like they somebody special and everything, and they don't want to be associating or sitting down in the same restaurant with some drug dealer, whether he be black or whether he be white.
Hallelujah.
You know, that's why that was taking place on Cape Cod.
Yep.
But true, the crazy thing is, you may not, but yo, these are, they're not even abusers, but they use drugs too. All these politicians, whether it be a pill, whether it be something illegal,
Well, that's-
legal, it's all drugs.
That-
I have to argue that. So what's the difference between illegal and illegal drugs?
See,
True.
that's where the problem lies right there. Right now, what happened was all them little people up there on the hills and everything, looking down on the people in the city, and the city people buying their little nickel bags of marijuana or ounces or doing their little crack cocaine and everything. And then the next thing you know, old Junior, well, my Junior don't do this. He plays hockey. My Junior plays baseball. No, he's in your cabinet because you got a neurosis that, oh, I'm depressed, so I got to have all these things like that.
These
Not
pills.
only am I depressed, I got a hurt foot too, so I got to have OxyContin for my hurt foot.
Yep.
So, you know, but now your little Junior done took all these
Oh,
things.
he ran through your
walk-
medicine cabinet.
You
You saying he done ran through your medicine cabinet
yeah,
now.
and now you go walking down through the streets right here in Worcester and look around, and 75% of the people that you see that are on treatment and on drugs still, you know, they're white. I
And
don't
they
know
not
where
from
they
Worcester.
come from, but I know where they weren't, and I do know where they are, and they're just walking around doing drugs, hanging out, having a good time and everything like that. Drugs is a monster, and drugs needs to really be looked at as a monster for what it is, and not something that somebody can actually harness and manipulate and use to keep people down. This can be done, but it's a monster.
I know we got like
Uh-oh.
we got
Mike's coming.
3 minutes left.
Mike's coming.
But and that's what I'm saying. The smartest thing I've heard pertaining to drugs is something Obama came out with, and that's just let's make all drugs legal, and let's just find their what do you call it, dosage. Let's just find their usable dosage. You know, when someone is just like what they did with alcohol. You know what I mean? When someone goes over the dosage, you know, they become, you know, a certain point in time they can't do certain things. So when someone takes drugs and they over their lethal or their usage, like alcohol, they should be operating a vehicle. You know what I mean? You need to start just allowing this stuff to happen, and now guard it wisely. Not only that, criminals, like you have to think smart. Like when you come to drug dealers, these are some smart, innovative people, entrepreneurs. Instead of putting a label on them, use their wisdom. Start educating them now in these prison systems, and start giving them loans when they come out of jail to be productive members to society, and say, here, you know what I mean? Start doing a lot of that ESL learning, emotional social learning with them in prison. Like that's what I'm talking about. That is a bigger bang right now for the dollar on some hopeful and having faith in people than to just throw them in a box and say, no, they're bad and we could never do nothing with them. Because that's what society says.
Said they're bad.
True. Come on, you don't even want to live next to them. What up, Dre?
I want to live next to you.
Say Mike, J Thriller, Mike Talk a lot, Ego Spiritual, Lucifer Hunter. Europe.
At least put it right in.
Yeah, I was listening, man. I actually, I agree with someone would keep saying. I think I agree with it. But I don't understand it at the same
Can't
time.
understand it.
Like, so
What don't you understand?
like I think. So true. When Keith was talking about Massport, I think Massport might be like.
I'm just responding to him.
Yeah. I know. To tell him before I came in, I think it's a misidentification. I think he is right in saying like dope comes from Afghanistan. And
Here's Massport. Massport is a 5-man board
Right.
that's appointed by the governor's councils.
Right.
And what it does is it oversees, one of its jobs is overseeing every kind of thing that comes into Massachusetts. They oversee what they allow in. So if China wants to send in Buicks, and Massport said, well, how are we making money? How are we going to make this money off of these Buicks and stuff like that? That's what Massport does. There used to be an organization called the Vault, many years ago, there were a group of high-powered individuals that used to meet at this breakfast house every morning underneath Suffolk University, and they would tell Massport what they wanted to let into this into Massachusetts, whether it be textiles,
I.E.
whether it
Whitey
be-
Bulger.
But listen, here's what I'm
Wait
saying.
a minute.
But
I.E. Whitey Bulger.
here's what I'm saying. Like if I it's not Massport because the drugs that like the
No, they don't
like,
deal with drugs.
man, I wish people shut up.
Yeah, he don't make any sense, right?
No, it's like it's not Massport because while I agree with you, right? If you say okay, dope is not grown in America, and coke is not grown in America, and judging by the amount of dope and coke in America, people need to be fired, right? Like if that
Right, they need to be criminalized like the drug dealers are
well,
being criminalized.
you don't send people to jail for doing a bad job, but they get fired. Like if you do a bad job, you don't go to jail, you get fired. Right? So like, but people should be fired based on like you clearly you're not doing your job well, right? And so if to your point where I was saying dope comes from Afghanistan, right? Where we been at for the last 10, 12 years, right? When I used to sell drugs, I was selling crack. In the hood, everybody's selling dope. Everybody's on dope. If it's not the lean, it's the perks, it's the Xannies, or just straight out dope. And it's no coincidence that we've been over there guarding them poppy fields, that dope.
But that was the purpose, the first time.
Of course, that's what it was about. It's about nation building. It's about destabilizing the region, but it's about a money grab. It's really a house invasion, a home invasion.
Yeah.
America is a bunch of gangsters. When you want to go, when we was in the hood and we want to take over stuff, you run in somebody's spot and you take their drugs.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They went over Afghanistan and took all their dope. Now everybody in America is on dope, right? You got this dope epidemic. So if you, to Keith's point, if you want to talk about accountability, where's the dope coming through? It got to be coming through the airports, right? So, but it's not Massport because it's not coming into Massachusetts. It's coming into Miami.
No, I
It's
think
coming into
everything
New York.
that comes into
It's not coming-
Massachusetts comes through Massport.
No,
if
it
it's
comes through
the
ground.
mail,
Anything in Massachusetts is coming through ground, not coming through the air. Like that might be some.
Massport takes care of trucking, takes care of
Shipping,
water,
everything.
takes care
Oh,
of
okay. So
water.
I stand corrected.
I read Massport.
Yeah,
So
but-
we're in control of everything that comes into Massachusetts. So like when I say Whitey Bulger,
But they're not controlling the highways.
When I
they
say-
can control the highways.
Yeah.
but come on, man, you got to check in before you come to
Anything, any
Massachusetts.
commerce
Yo,
that comes
listen.
in, Massport gives a
So
stamp
to my
on it.
point exactly, I'm just way above beyond where Troop understands the level of, I guess.
Well, let me
So-
put the level just a little bit closer to reality. Mike's thing on Afghanistan is too small, way too small. Because he look back further to the China Circle, which is coming back into the scene now. The United States, England, Belgium, all them people that went over there in China, and they got the Golden Triangle that comes down. Huge amount of drugs been coming through there for many years. Many. I was in a drug.
But Afghanistan is the world's largest supplier of poppies.
Right now, Afghanistan is one of the world's largest suppliers
By far, it's not even close.
of poppy. But it goes out this way through Russia, and all
Africa.
those countries and stuff like that. The drugs that come into our country, the poppies and stuff, comes through the China Triangle over in this way. Comes down through Thailand.
All I know is it's coming through the airport. It's coming through the air. Ain't nobody held
Your
accountable.
point for saying that though was to say that
I
now
was
also
there.
China ships dope stuff too.
I didn't
Of
say
course they
China.
do.
I said
You think
England.
China don't?
I said
Like,
England.
why wouldn't you?
Bruh.
China you would destabilize the people. You make the people zombies, and you make money off it. Of course, China would do
Why,
that.
why are you two saying China? I never said China. I said England.
I'm saying China too. Everybody getting money. I mean,
And not only England, the United States. I was in that.
We got to
drug
pay some
deal.
bills though. We got to pay some bills. So
hey,
we'll be
speaking of
back.
that, before we go
I don't
into that,
wanna
man.
go
Hey,
into
look,
that.
man, we need money. Send some money, man.
It's pay season.
Talk with your wallet, man. We need this ain't free. Please holler us if you like what you hear. 508-753-2284 or hit us up on Facebook. Voice of the Voices on Facebook. We need those donations, please.
Yes, we need the play season. Y'all support the station, support the show. You know, we love to bring y'all some real good stuff.
I want